legs are on fire. My heart is on fire. Any ounce of energy that is left in my body is going into this sprint. Since I started racing last year, it has completely changed how I see myself. When I get on my bike and I start moving, it's physical white noise. All of a sudden I can think about things. You got the wind rushing past, and you just zone out. Before every race, you're so nervous. But as soon as that whistle blows, that all has to melt away. It's almost like I race because you told me I can't. Because you told me I shouldn't be here. Today, I win.
Normatec recovery systems give you a high-tech compression massage for warm-up pre-workout and recovery post-workout.
The technology is very safe and is used by a broad range of athletic types and really any fitness enthusiast looking to get the most out of their workout.
The whole idea is that we're using air compression to help increase circulation in the body. We wanted to mimic physiology, the way the body moves fluids. We went ahead and took a lot of those principles and put it into a system that you can use on your different extremities and your hips as well.
Normatec has been an industry leader in pneumatic compression, providing improved mobility and profound healing for thousands of patients. We continually work with researchers to study and develop the effectiveness of our technology.
It's all about creating that community space where people have a conversation around recovery and start really challenging their beliefs in what is possible and what they've known and maybe what could be.
The USA Cycling Foundation funds the Olympic dream and our nation's best young athletes, giving young riders the opportunities to compete at the highest levels of competitive cycling.
Riders who have represented the USA in the World Championships and the Olympics are an inspiration to all of us. The USA Cycling Foundation supports the complicated development process for these athletes. And that's critical not just for our best athletes, but also for developing the next generation of athletes. And this is only made possible by generous private gifts from cycling enthusiasts like you.
I am Taylor Wiles, and I'm a professional cyclist racing for Trek Drops and the U.S. National Team. The USA Cycling Foundation has supported me for nearly 8 years. The USA Cycling Foundation has been critical in supporting my career and helping me get over to Europe to race over there, racing the World Championships, and the camps that we get to do to prepare for Nationals and World Championships are all supported by USA Cycling.
Hi, I'm Kate Courtney. I'm a professional mountain bike racer and part of the USA Cycling National Team and the current elite women's cross-country world champion. If USA Cycling hadn't supported me in my cycling pursuits, I'm not sure I would have had the opportunity or the ability to set my sights on really being competitive in Europe. Thank you to the USA Cycling Foundation for believing in me, for supporting me, and for continuing to encourage me and other riders like me to set their sights on the top level.
Please support our athletes and teams with a tax-deductible gift today. Visit our website to make a gift online. Your gift will fund training and racing development programs for our nation's best young cycling athletes. Please make a contribution today.
As an athlete, getting marginally better is one thing. Getting exponentially better puts you in a whole new ballgame. Biomoto uses a proprietary digital process to capture movement at 200 frames per second and 70 sensors per foot to measure ground-based forces, resulting in advanced motion analysis that's up to 10 times more accurate than orthotics. It's the data generated by this process that allows Biomoto to construct custom insoles that make athletes faster, stronger, and more stable, and result in an unprecedented 95% success rate.
Project Echelon is a veterans nonprofit organization that educates, equips, and empowers veterans through physical activity. Serving veterans from coast to coast, the Project Echelon Racing team and its industry partners work to make the support of cycling more accessible to veterans and their families as a means of both physical and mental wellness. You can donate to support this cause at projectechelon.org.
My legs are on fire. My heart is on fire. Any ounce of energy that is left in my body is going into this sprint. Since I started racing last year, it has completely changed how I see myself. When I get on my bike and I start moving, it's physical white noise. All of a sudden I can think about things. You've got the wind rushing past, and you just zone out. Before every race, you're so nervous. But as soon as that whistle blows, that all has to melt away. It's almost like I race because you told me I can't. Because you told me I shouldn't be here. Today, I win.
Hey, welcome to day 2 of the Bucks County Classic Armed Forces Cycling Classic Community Race Weekend on RGT. This is, we're going to be on the Armed Forces Cycling Classic Clarendon Cup course based in Arlington, Virginia. This is a 6-turn crit with a little hill in it, super technical. We're going to be looking at diminished fields in today's race, maybe a breakaway. Similar to how yesterday's races played out. Again, great job to everyone that raced yesterday. Phenomenal racing in all the categories across the men's and women's fields. Today we're looking for some of the same. This is the 3rd weekend in the Echelon Racing League Community Race Series with the Bucks County Classic and the Armed Forces Cycling Classic Clarendon Cup. We'll be following this up with next weekend, or sorry, the weekend after Christmas, the December 26th, 27th Gateway Cup, followed by Redlands Bicycle Classic, Joe Martin Stage Race, Green Mountain Stage Race, and Tour of America's Dairyland capping us off the first quarter of 2021. The first 2 races of the series were the RGT Railroads Stage Race course, the Paterberg, followed by the Tour of the Gila Monster race. Both those races, grueling stages, played out great, just tough racing all around, and really seeing, as we get into this 3rd week, we're really starting to see a theme here with some of the same players coming to the surface here. We're really getting an idea of who to be watching in these races. Seb Wolf, Mike Lister, Hardin, Brazil, and then some of our pro racers coming in and racing as well with Oosborne, Dowd, Eric Hill, Zach Nair. Just some great racing all around. Looking forward to some excitement today. Thank you everyone for joining us. We want to thank our sponsors and partners as well for making this possible. USA Cycling, RGT Cycling, the platform we're working on, the Biomoto Company, all the live streaming made possible by ZMS Livestream, Hyper Ice Recovery Products, and Saris. Pick up, the weather's starting to get cold, and we're getting into the heat of the indoor racing season now, so make sure you get that Saris Smart Trainer, as well as that rocker board, and make sure you get some Hyper Ice recovery products to help you get ready for those, to help recover from those races, and to get you comfortable during those races. Check out Biomoto. These races are always the weekend before the pro races on the same courses. Our pro calendar is an 8-race weekend calendar. Rather than doing the 1-stage race, they do the full weekend for timed stage races. They will be doing the same weekend day races as the pro. The amateurs will be doing the same weekend day races as the pros as we go through. So the pro calendar started off with their RGT Railroad stage race, a 3-day stage race. And then Tour of the Gila, which was another 3-day. That was a time-based stage race. Not many of those you've seen on the e-racing platforms. They are one where you have to finish the first stage to move on to the next. And those are time-based GC results rather than points-based. This weekend, December 19th and 20th, next weekend, Bucks County Classic and Armed Forces, then 2 days of Gateway Cup, and then 3 back-to-back timed race stage races. Redlands Bicycle Classic, Joe Martin stage race, Green Mountain stage race, and then we'll cap that off with a 4-day crit weekend for Tour of America's Dairyland. All of these races are based on real courses. Tour of the Gila through Tour of America's Dairyland are real races within the United States. And these courses are GPX files pulled from those races that these bike riders are going to be racing on. If you do get a chance, if you haven't had a chance to race any of these races in real life, you absolutely have to come to the United States and check them out. They're all just phenomenal races and great courses all around. So please do make sure you check them out. We're about 5 minutes from race start here. All our riders are warming up, lining up on the line. Always a race to the line, especially on a course like this. As you see, this is a super technical race. It's got 2 turns that are greater than 100 degrees with some hills in it. In real life, these races usually start with 100 riders or so and finish with a diminished field of about 20 riders. Yesterday's Bucks County Classic is very similar, and it played out very similar to the real life race as well. So we're looking for about the same thing today. That being said, it is with the RGT platform, you do have a lot of you have collision detection, you have virtual braking going into the turns, and so these races do tend to explode a little, just like in real life. So there is that race to the line, the race before the race, if you will. We see in crit racing, where it's the higher up in the starting grid you are, the better off you are for starting the race. Again, this race is part of a race weekend for Armed Forces Cycling Classic that takes place in June. It is a Clarendon Cup and Crystal City Cup. The Clarendon Cup is a traditional 100-kilometer, 1 kilometer loop, 100 laps, making for a 100-kilometer race. Phenomenal racing. We've seen some legendary riders show up and do these races. The race director, Rob Laybourne, does a phenomenal job of promoting this race and putting it on. It is always one to look forward to. If you've never been to it, again, right outside downtown Washington, D.C., highly recommend checking out this great race weekend, great prize purse, great race promotion, and the real life races are commentated by Brad Soner and Frankie Andreu. That being said, next weekend's pro races will also be for Bucks County Classic and Armed Forces Cycling Classic, commentated by Brad Soner and Frankie Andreu. We're really excited to see Frankie come on board and work with Brad. These two have been legends in the sport. Brad as a commentator, Frankie, as everyone knows, as a professional bike racer on the World Tour stage, and now doing commentating for a bunch of the popular races across the calendar, including Armed Forces Cycling Classic and Bucks County Cycling Classic. So today we are going to have our community races, categories 1 through 4. Will be 4 separate races for the men. They will all be doing the same distance and racing on the same course. As soon as this race is over, we will have the women's race with a women's category 1-2 and a women's category 3-4. Here you go. We're on the start line and we've got the Cat 4 men lined up, ready to go. Here's the Cat 3. Again, you're going to have everyone, this is that moment, the 2 minutes before the race where you're taking a deep breath, you've finished your warm-up, you're popping a gel really quick, taking a sip of water, trying to think, okay, calm the nerves, let's get this going. Some really great fields today as well. 20 riders in the Cat 2 race. And a 38 rider lineup in the Cat 1 race. A lot of these racers, I'd say about half of them are in the Pro Series as well. We invite the professional riders to come out and race in the community events as well. They get a chance to recon the courses prior to the professional race weekend in a race environment, as well as get to mix it up with some community riders and help those community riders get noticed and hopefully get recruited to a pro team if they so desire. Less than 30 seconds to go now. And we are off. So the Cat 1 race took off pretty gradual, to be honest, going right into this hard 110-degree left turn. They'll go into a slight downhill now, a little bend to the right, and then a hard 90-degree left turn into an uphill. Looks like all the races are together. We'll see how everything's played out. It's going to be a little... Most crits typically start, with the first 20 to 30 minutes are relatively hard, and it's just hold on and hang in there and make sure you can make it. Once that lull happens, you can kind of assess the damage, see where you stand, make sure you're in the front group, and go from there. We've got the dirt guys clogging the front here. Seb Wolf and them getting off the front early, just trying to keep that pace high. He's now settled in about mid-pack now. Again, this is super technical. These races, you're going to be really jumpy coming out of these turns, especially with the virtual riders e-braking. You'll notice that they're braking when, if you look in the top left corner, when that power number goes red, that is your avatar hitting the brakes. So any power you are putting out during that effort, it's wasted effort. That power's not going to the pavement, and you're not going any faster. You're just burning matches for no reason. So the key is to time your pedal strokes smartly, so you're not wasting energy when you don't need to be. Cat 2 race is pretty lined out here right now. And a lot of these riders at the back here are going to find themselves on their back foot, panicking a little bit because they're going to be yo-yoing coming out of these turns and having to catch back up to the front group. Cat 2 field staying relatively together. Again, late in that top left, if you see the red on the number, that's either going into a turn hitting the brakes, or if you're running into the back of someone. Again, there's collision detection here. Just like in real life, you can't ride through a rider to go to the front. So if the field is across the road and you're trying to get around them, that number's going to turn red because you're running into the back of somebody. Next, that's your cadence and then the rider's heart rate. Just below that is either their power history or their power savings. It's a drafting computer, so to speak, where you'll see the power savings, and then to the left of that is the minimum power to stay in the draft. The distance in the middle there is the distance to the rider you're drafting, and then to the right is the power you need to put out to overcome that rider. So in the Cat 4 race, it is really kicking up here. This Cat 4 race is tough as they come across the start-finish line to complete lap 2 here. Brad Borders, our winner from yesterday, he soloed the entire race. I think he attacked 2 laps in and was able to motor away from everyone. He stayed away for the remainder of the day to win solo. He's obviously up there in the front, looking like he wants to do the same thing as he had done yesterday. Over here in the Cat 1 race, Oosborn, who is second in the Pro Series right now, really, he's been at the front. Yesterday, he was lighting it up in the breakaway, in the chase. Every single move, you saw Matt Oosborn for Above and Beyond Cancer up there. Right now, you've got Oosborn, Blackburn, and Payne Griffin from Support Clean Sport up in the front, trying to get something going. Typically this race, in real life, this one and Bucks County, they're both 100-kilometer crits. They last about 2.5 hours long, and what you end up seeing is a breakaway going up the road early and lapping the field. This race is a little bit shorter than that, 43 kilometers, so I think this will be about an hour race, and you won't see the riders most likely getting away and lapping the field like that. Oosborn is making his best effort to get up the road, though. It looks like this field has been shredded quite a bit already. The Restart Racing guys, Blackburn's team here, they really did a significant effort to animate the race yesterday as well, sending guys up the road left and right, which was beneficial to them as Dowd ended up winning the race, with Oosborn taking second yesterday with a long sprint from 300 meters out. Here in the Cat 2 race, looks like we got the field relatively all together right now. No one really shooting off fireworks yet. We're coming around to complete our 4th of 40 laps. Looks like out of the 20 riders that started, we're down to 18 now. And it looks like our front group is 12 riders. So again, like I was saying, this race being super technical, what you end up having is you end up having So it looks like we're back on our live stream. Sorry about that. We're still working on through a couple technical difficulties on the Facebook stream. I apologize for that if you're watching the YouTube. Looks like we've got a couple moves working now. Field really stretched out in the pro race right now. Looks like in the Cat 1, we've got 9 riders, maybe 10 if Lister can get back on, or sorry, I can't see who that is, can get back on. In the Cat 2 race, we've got a small field up at the front now, approximately 10 riders. In the Cat 3, they are single file. They're really going at it right now. Small group there as well. And it looks like the race is still all together in Cat 4, down to a group of 5 though. So in our Cat 1 race here, we look like we're down to Oosborne, Warner, Sophocles, Daly, Seb Wolf, Heinlein, and a couple of others to round out our front group of 10 riders. Looks like 11th place is about 100 meters back. In the Cat 2 race, couple attacks going up here with Alex Lex, I believe, from Germany. Alex also runs a Thursday night Criterium series on RGT. If you ever want to check that out, highly recommend it. This Cat 2 race, they're really trying to string it out and just pop rider after rider off the back there. It looks like we've got approximately 8 riders in this front group, 9th trying to get back in contact. In the Cat 3 race, we're down to approximately 10, maybe 12 riders as well. 9 riders, I believe. And in the Cat 4 race, looks like they've dropped another one out the back of the field, trying to make it back as Project Echelon is putting the pain down, trying to get away from everybody else. In the Cat 4 race, it looks like Project Echelon, Scheinsenbach, hope I said that right, does have a bit of a gap, about 10 meters to second place there. Oh, he's now brought back. Those 5 riders are all back together now. These races, all of them in every category, have just started off insanely fast. I'm not sure if they can keep this pace up for the entire 40 laps. Cat 1 race has 38 laps to go. Or sorry, 28 laps to go. and they are still just hammering it. I do think they'll continue this effort for about 5 minutes, maybe five to 10 more minutes, and we'll see a little bit of a lull. Interesting dynamic here in the Cat 1 race. 2 above and beyond cancer guys, 2 restart racing, 3 dirt racing, the community team. 1 Project Echelon, and then 2 other community riders. Over in the Cat 2 race, fireworks going off again.
Watching the time, keep it coming.
Checking back in here, we got some big moves going in the Cat 1 race, really getting strung out now. Everyone coming back together, but not without some really hard efforts to get back in contact from the back of the group here. Cat 2 race working the same way. Eight or nine riders staying up near the front, but going strung out of every single turn. In the Cat 3 race, we've got about 10 riders all together right now. I think they're hitting their lull as we speak. No one really putting the hammer down just as yet. In the Cat 4 race, we've got a group of 4 who are strung out as Suarez goes up the road pretty hard. No power to weight numbers going into the red. That means he's in the pain zone, just over threshold. The red equals hurting. Not a sustainable effort, but what you really need to do to be able to get away from everyone. Cat 1 race picking up some lapped riders there in the back of the group. Our group of 9 here in the Cat 1 race has picked up a handful of lapped riders now. Nine riders here in the front group in the Cat 2 race. They're now 25% of the way through, 10 laps in. Sorry, that's the back of the race. The front of the race is 15 laps in. Over here in the Cat 3 race, we're down to 8 riders in the front group here. Looks like they've settled into a pretty decent rhythm here. Again, the difference between a crit and a road race and what criteriums are technically or usually shorter than a road race is they are much more technical and they are much more stop and go type efforts, which really sap the legs much quicker. So it may be a shorter race than your typical 100 miles Tour de France stage, but it still takes a lot of the effort, a lot of the kilojoules required to be able to complete an event like this. The Cat 3 guys are really starting to kick it back up again. That lull lasted about a lap, and now they're really starting to hit the hammer again. It looks like we got 4 guys with a really good gap to the other 4. Beckett, Sanika, Hendrick, and Robinson really laying it down, trying to get away. Over here in the Cat 4 race, we've got 4 riders: Suarez, Boyd, Chan, and Dijkstra with a nice effort staying away. And in the Cat 1 race, looks like we've got everyone still together in that front group of 9. Still a couple lapped riders in this field. Looks like everything's coming back together in the Cat 3 race. Over in the Cat 2 race, things are getting single file with gaps opening here and there. Alex on the front really putting the effort down again. This race in the Cat 2 field is really starting to break up quite a bit. Alex just off the front with a fellow countryman trying to bridge up to him. And a small group of 6 looks like trying to get up to both. So it looks like that little breakaway from the 2 Germans in the Cat 2 race is brought back by a small group. That front group of 9 is now a front group of 7. In the Cat 1 race, we still have 9 riders on the lead lap in this front group. There looks like to be 5 or 6 other riders who are lapped, just hanging on. Warner from Above and Beyond Cancer going up the road a little bit. Not really an attack, so to speak, just putting a little bit of power down, trying to string things out a little bit. Blackburn stitches it back together and then goes over the top of him. Jamrozic looks like he's putting in a pretty big effort there. 7 watts per kilogram out of the turn. Usborne to the front. That's never what you want to see. Giving him unfettered access to open roads is a bad idea, in my opinion. In the Cat 2 race here, Neugebauer, who was in the earlier break with Alex, has countered his own breakaway and is solo with 30 meters to a field of 6. Really putting in a big effort here, trying to snap that elastic. Not sure if this is going to be able to stay away. He's almost halfway through this race, 21 laps to go. They are going to bring him back. Let's see if there's a counterattack over the top. Cat 4 race here. We still got the 4 riders. They're splintering a little bit. Dijkstra on the back there. It looks like he has stopped. Oh, he is going through a turn. My apologies. Putting in a big effort trying to get back up. It does look like he's been gapped off by Chancellors and Boyd, though. He's going to have to put in a monster effort to get back to these guys. And a monster effort he is doing. Let's see if he can make contact again. Does look like Chancellors and Boyd are kind of hesitating a little bit. No one really trying to put the hammer down to keep Dijkstra off the back. Dijkstra really needs to put in a big effort out of the turn there. There he goes to get back on. It does look like he's going to make contact. There we go. The key here is by getting off the back there and having to do those monster efforts to get back on. If anyone in the field, once he gets there, if they don't give him any rest before they start attacking again, it's really going to put him into a bigger deficit than the other riders, put him into a lot of trouble. A lot of red numbers in the Cat 2 race there as Neugebauer gets attacks again up the front stretch. They're now over halfway, 19 laps to go for the Cat 2. 18 laps to go for the Cat 1. 21 laps for the Cat 3. And 21 laps for the Cat 4. 22 laps for the Cat 4, my apologies. In the Cat 1 race here, Oosborn on the front, putting in a little bit of an effort, stringing out the Cat 1 field. He did get a little gap, and he is taking advantage of that. 7 watts per kilogram up the front stretch. They are going to bring him back, but he is giving that field a headache and a little bit of pain. Mike Lister over the top of Usborne now. Usborne again. We saw this yesterday where he countered his own move lap after lap up the same stretch of road. Looks like he's trying to do the same thing again, maybe weed out a couple of these riders, narrow this group down. And it looks like he's doing just that. Some big gaps opening up now. Heinlein on the front now from Project Echelon with Restart Racing, and Mike Lister from Dirt on his wheel. Blackburn now going. Looks like we've got 7 riders on the lead lap in this group. Heinlein making it number 8. Lister in a little bit of trouble, 10 meters off the back. Big effort to try to get back on. And just fireworks after fireworks here in this Cat 2 race. This is really great racing from these guys. Cooper went. Najbauer brings back. Goes over the top. Let's see if he just keeps trying to hold it. We are down to 7 riders in this front group. This race started with 21. And Alex with a big move in the red, 6 watts per kilogram off the front. He is not waiting. Golding and Meekin now trying to chase with the field following behind. Alex is caught. And again, some really big numbers coming from these Cat 2 racers. They are not taking it easy. There is no settling in this race. So we should be well over halfway in all of our races. We'll take a look at all 4 categories, see where we stand on all of them. I do believe the Cat 1 is a couple laps ahead of the Cat 2, so with about 5 to go, we will tune into that Cat 1 race and keep it there. They've got 14.3K to go, so that's about 14 laps. This course tends to be, I think, about 1.1 kilometers. And again, Usborne putting down red numbers in that Cat 1 race. Cat 3 race, we still got that little group just throwing punches at each other left and right, but they are staying all together for the most part. In the Cat 4 race, we got those 4 riders. It looks like they've picked up a couple lapped riders as well, but they are working really well together as we knock off lap after lap. This guy might get the most combative award jersey in the Cat 2 race. He is off the front again. Nujabauer. Looked like he put in a little dig. Nothing really trying to get away solo. Just putting some pain to the field to make him chase. Seeing if anyone might come along with him as he gets a little bit of a gap there. They do bring him back. Over in the Cat 1 race, here goes Usborne again. Big move. Decent gap. Usborne back to the field there, about 30 meters. Doesn't look like anyone in the field's willing to chase. As Usborne does 1 watt per kilogram higher than the rest of the field there. Gap's now out to 40 meters. This could be it. Big kick out of the turn there by Matt. Field now responding. Heinlein trying to get across for Project Echelon. He does bring the whole group with him, but no one pulls through. Matt Usborne for Above and Beyond Cancer still has about 30 meters. Jim Rozic from Restart Racing trying to get across now with a big dig here. He does have some daylight between him and the field. Sitting in no man's land right now. He's going to try to do a big effort out of this U-turn, but it does look like the field's going to shut it down. This is one of those dangerous moments where the field, if they catch Jim Rozic in no man's land and he sits up, it could give Usborne the chance to where the field just kind of hesitates and opens that gap up, and Usborne could be gone. Jim Rozic's still on the power, though. He is not relinquishing. Blackburn taking over on the front. Again, another Restart Racing rider. Seems that team's working together with the goal of bringing Matt Usborne back. He still has about 20 meters, and he is not letting up. 11 laps to go for Matt Usborne in the field here. This seems to be an all or nothing effort for Usborne. Go big or go home. Mike Lister on the front now for dirt racing. It does look like he's going to be brought back. I say go big or go home, but I wouldn't count Matt Usborne out yet. 10 laps to go. He's got time to recover and go again. And sure enough, there he is, opening that gap once again. With Restart Racing having two people in this breakaway, it kind of puts them on their back foot, where if the two of them are doing all the work to bring Usborne back, when they do, they might not have any matches to respond to any counterattacks, which puts them into a position of having to chase back on once again. As Usborne continues to put the pain down in the Cat 1 race. We'll look over. Cat 2 race is still all together with the group of 7 riders. 6 riders. No, 7. 7 riders, excuse me. Cat 3 race. Sitting with 6 riders in that front group. 7th just angling off the back. Neusbauer really putting in another monster effort. Out of every turn. Cat 3 race, we've got 6 riders with 1 just off the back. And in the Cat 4 race, we've got, looks like we're down to 3 riders now. Brad Borders, maybe that yesterday's hour-long time trial for that solo win was a bit much. He's now half a lap behind this front group of 3. It's the tough part about these race weekends is you go too deep on that first day, you might not have it in the tank for the second. Nine laps to go for the Cat 1 race. 11 laps to go for the Cat 2, 13 laps to go for the Cat 3, and 14 for the Cat 4. Looks like everything's back together in the Cat 1 race with Restart Racing on the front, controlling the field. Over here in the Cat 4 race, looks like Suarez is really putting down some power, trying to get something going here from that group of 3 he was in. Gapping off Boyd, making Boyd do a pretty big dig, trying to get back in touch. Looks like he is going to make it. In the Cat 3 race, some big efforts again. We got 2 riders off the front with a decent little gap. Down in the Cat 1 race, it looks like we're down to 6 riders in this front group now. 7 laps to go. Looks like it was just a hair too much for Mike Lister and Bowen there as they just drift off the back with 7 laps to go. Cooper with a big move in the Cat 2 race here, trying to get away from that group of 5. Excuse me, that group of 6. He's committed, but it does look like the field is going to be brought back in touch with Cooper by Alex. All the numbers in red for this front group of 7 as Cooper does a big dig out of the turn coming around for 9 to go. Let's go back and see how this Cat 1 race is playing out. We're at 5.5 to go for the Cat 1 race. Down to a group of 6 here. It's a little confusing with a couple lap riders in there, but I do believe we have 1 above and beyond cancer, 2 restart racing, 1 project echelon. I was wrong. It's 2 above and beyond cancer, 2 restart racing, 1 project echelon, 1 community rider. On this lead lap. Looks like our 7 riders in the Cat 2 have picked up quite a decent sized group of lapped riders. So they come around with 7 to go. Cooper and Golding still controlling things. Big moves in the Cat 2 race here. As Alex tries to get away once again with 7 laps to go. Just under 4K to go in the Cat 1 race, and Usborne is off the front again. Jamrozic and Blackburn Restart Racing trying to chase. Looks like Blackburn's going to let Jamrozic go on up the road and just kind of pace the field, see if they can't maintain that gap. Might get brought back together by Sophocles here. We're going to watch this Cat 1 race through the finish. 3.5K to go. Usborne on the front with Jamrozic following. Little bit of a gap there. All it takes is 1 second of hesitation for that gap to stick. $3K to go, looking like it's going to come down to these 6 riders. We'll see if it's going to come down to a diminished field sprint or if there's going to be a late breakaway. Yesterday we had we'll call it a sprint from 300 meters out by Oliver Dowd from Restart Racing to take the win, with Usborne taking second. Restart Racing controlling the front here with Usborne and Warner just hovering around the front there. Heinlein just losing contact a little bit, trying to get back up. Project Echelon rider having to go into the red there to get back in touch. $2K to go now for these riders. It's about 2 laps. Usborne, big dig going into this turn into the uphill for the front stretch. Stringing out this group of 6. Big dig from Matt Usborne for above and beyond cancer. Restart Racing, Blackburn and Jamrozic right on his wheel though. Big gap to the rest of the field there as these 3 riders continue to put in a hard move. 1.6 kilometers remaining. Jamrozic now leading out Blackburn and Usborne. 20 meters back to 4th through 6th. Looks like Blackburn is trying to lead out Jamrozic here. Usborne catching a free ride. I do believe these 3 riders are just trying to stay away from that back group of 3. Gap's now 30 meters, 1K to go, 1 lap. Bell lap right here. Heinlein trying to get across with those other 2 riders, Warner and Sophocles. Usborne with another big dig, gapping Blackburn and Jamrozic a little bit. 700 meters to go. Heinlein trying to do a big dig. He's gapped off the other 2 a little bit, trying to get across. Jamrozic still on the front. 500 meters to go now, these 3. I do believe this is going to be our podium right here. Who's taking the top step as they hit some lap traffic with 350 meters to go. Big dig from Blackburn. Usborne chasing 200 meters to go. Here comes the sprint. Who's going to take it? Usborne locking in Blackburn a little. Big dig from Usborne, 14 watts per kilogram. He is gone like a rocket. Blackburn with a big dig for second. Warner taking third. Jim Rosick was cooked after that big setup for Blackburn to take second place. Big monster sprint from Matt Usborne here. 14 watts per kilogram to the line. Blackburn second, and then Above and Beyond Cancer rounding out the podium for third, with Project Echelon Racing's Heinlein taking fourth and Restart Racing fifth. Great racing by these riders. Phenomenal effort there by Matt Usborne. That guy is a monster on the bike. Here comes Lister and Bowen for 7th and 8th. Bowen big dig on over Lister. Both doing 14 watts per kilogram. Monster sprints from these guys. Lister trying to close the gap. I don't think he's going to get it, though. Great riding by Bowen and Lister there. Seb Wolf is going to look like he's taking 9th and Melville 10th. Over to the Cat 2 race, 2K to go. Down to our 7 riders here still. They've been throwing punches back and forth, or all around, all day long here. They've got 2 laps remaining. Do have some lap traffic mixed in here that could mix it up just a little bit more than they're anticipating. Nujabauer, big effort on the front again, coming out of the bottom turn there. $1.4K to go. Big moves for 1K to go. Looks like we're going to see someone trying to get a 1K flyer here. Edmonds and Alex with a little bit of a gap here. All back together now. 750 meters. $600 meters to go now altogether. Looks like we're going to be seeing a field sprint from these 6 riders. These 7 riders, excuse me. It's going to be a big sprint coming out of this turn now. 300 meters to go. $250 meters now. who's going to initiate. Looks like Cooper's initiating. 10.9 watts per kilo, 12 watts per kilo. Edmonds over the top. Can he hold it? Big effort from Edmonds. Looks like he's going to take it. With Cooper second and Alex Lex taking third. Meekin fourth, Golding fifth, Neugebauer sixth, and Krajewski seventh. Great racing by these riders, all of them. Here's our Cat 1 results. Matt Usborne taking the win with Blackburn for Restart Racing second, Warner third, Heinlein fourth, Jamrozic fifth, Softcleese sixth, Bowen seventh, Lister eighth, Seb Wolf ninth, and James Melville 10th. Great riding by all these guys. Cat 3 race is down to 2K to go. We're going to check this one out. Looks like we're down to 6 riders in this race as well. Just under 2 laps to go for these riders. Here's our results for the Cat 2. Edmonds, Cooper, Alex Lex, Meekin, Golding, Neugebauer, and Krajewski rounding out the top 7. Congrats to these riders. Monster efforts there. Back to the Cat 3, coming around for 1 to go here. These 6 riders are still all together. We'll have to see if we have the 1K to go attack, or if it's going to come down to a field sprint. .700 meters out of this turn. Getting a little antsy. People getting up to go. Half a lap to go now. Hagen putting in a big effort to go into this final turn, 300 meters to go. He's just going to try to ride everyone off his wheel from the bottom of the hill out of the turn. Robinson way over the top with a monster sprint here. Good gap from Robinson as he keeps going. Hendrick trying to close and come over the top. Can he do it? Yes, so does Sanico. Oh, it's going to come down to the line. Look at this monster effort from Beckett, and it looks like Beckett takes it on the line, maybe? No, Hendricks takes the win, just edging out Beckett right there at the finish. What a phenomenal race. Looks like we went Hendrick, Beckett, Sanika for the podium there. Robinson 4th, De Groot 5th, and Hagen 6th. Phenomenal race by these riders. Over to the Cat 4, they've got 1.2K to go. Looks like it's down to 2 riders here. Third, Brad Borders has come over the top of 4th place. Not sure what happened there. Borders, though, motoring Maintaining a good effort there, 100 meters back, sitting solid in third. Suarez putting in a big effort here, 1 lap to go. Bell lap, bell lap. These two riders, 700 meters to go now. Right at the half lap to go point now. Boyd not waiting around, putting in a big dig. Suarez right there with him, though, not letting him get any kind of leash. Coming into the final turn now, Suarez on the front. Boyd, big dig to come over the top of him into the final turn. 275 meters to go. Boyd into the red. Suarez on his wheel. Suarez not hesitating. He's gone. Suarez with a big dig, 100 meters out. He's hitting it. Boyd following. Looks like Suarez is going to take it. Boyd for second. Borders rounding the last turn and coming up the final stretch to take third. Fourth and fifth, not far behind him, though. Great job again to all these riders. Suarez, Boyd, Borders, Hartley, and Fitzgerald to round out the top 5. Eret taking 6th. And 7th going to Paniatal. We want to thank all the riders here. Cat 3 results, Hendricks 1st, Beckett 2nd, Seneca 3rd, Robinson 4th, DeGroot 5th, Hagen 6th, and Hendricks 7th. We got Billings finishing 8th just now. Great effort by these riders. And in the Cat 4, we got Suarez, Boyd, and Borders finishing up, taking the top 3 there. Great ride by these guys. Borders taking his 2nd podium in 2 days with a 1st place yesterday and a 3rd today. I believe Suarez taking his 2nd podium of the day as well. I believe he took 2nd place yesterday and 1st today. Great effort by everybody. Great racing. We're going to get ready for the women's races now. The women's category 1-2 and the women's category 3-4 coming up. Again, thank you to our partners, USA Cycling, supporting the community league here and really investing in this online e-racing and really contributing and helping us with it. Everything taking place on the RGT cycling platform. There are 2 types of membership on the RGT cycling platform. If you're interested in trying it out, there's basic and premium. With the basic membership, it's free. They do have a select number of courses you are available to ride. You are also allowed to partake in any group rides or races with that basic membership. So if you're curious about it, go on, try it. Costs you nothing. If you want to try out the league, we welcome you. Next races are going to be December 26th and 27th, the Gateway Cup. The series is free to partake in. We welcome everyone. Also, Biomoto for all of your bike comfort, bike fit, and custom insole needs. Check them out. Hyper Ice recovery products. We know these riders that just finished today and raced all weekend this weekend are going to need some of those. So check out Hyper Ice for all your recovery needs. And Saris for all your bike support needs, if you will. Your trainers, your rocker plates, your car carriers. I'm looking at getting one myself with purchasing a new car last night. So going to be hitting up Saris for that bike rack to throw the bikes onto the back of the SUV for all the outdoor racing we're hopefully going to be able to take part in 2021. And finally, ZMS Livestream. None of this would be possible without ZMS Livestream. Doing a great job showing all these races and the live results. And thanks for tuning in. We will be right back here in a few minutes with the women's races. Getting started soon.
Legs are on fire. My heart is on fire. any ounce of energy that is left in my body is going into this sprint. Since I started racing last year, it has completely changed how I see myself. When I get on my bike and I start moving, it's physical white noise. All of a sudden I can think about things. You got the wind rushing past, and you just zone out. Before every race, you're so nervous. But as soon as that whistle blows, that all has to melt away. It's almost like I race because you told me I can't. Because you told me I shouldn't be here. Today, I win.
Normatec recovery systems give you a high-tech compression massage for warm-up pre-workout and recovery post-workout.
The technology is very safe and is used by a broad range of athletic types and really any fitness enthusiast looking to get the most out of their workout.
The whole idea is that we're using air compression to help increase circulation in the body. We wanted to mimic physiology, the way the body moves fluids. We went ahead and took a lot of those principles and put it into a system that you can use on your different extremities and your hips as well.
Normatec has been an industry leader in pneumatic compression, providing improved mobility and profound healing for thousands of patients. We continually work with researchers to study and develop the effectiveness of our technology.
It's all about creating that community space where people have a conversation around recovery and start really challenging their beliefs in what is possible and what they've known and maybe what could be.
The USA Cycling Foundation funds the Olympic dream and our nation's best young athletes, giving young riders the opportunities to compete at the highest levels of competitive cycling.
Riders who have represented the USA in the World Championships and the Olympics are an inspiration to all of us. The USA Cycling Foundation supports the complicated development process for these athletes. And that's critical not just for our best athletes, but also for developing the next generation of athletes. And this is only made possible by generous private gifts from cycling enthusiasts like you.
I am Taylor Wiles, and I'm a professional cyclist racing for Trek Drops and the U.S. national team. The USA Cycling Foundation has supported me for nearly 8 years. The USA Cycling Foundation has been critical in supporting my career and helping me get over to Europe to race over there, racing the World Championships, and the camps that we get to do to prepare for nationals and World Championships are all supported by USA Cycling.
Hi, I'm Kate Courtney. I'm a professional mountain bike racer and part of the USA Cycling national team and the current elite women's cross-country world champion. If USA Cycling hadn't supported me in my cycling pursuits, I'm not sure I would have had the opportunity or the ability to set my sights on really being competitive in Europe. Thank you to the USA Cycling Foundation for believing in me, for supporting me, and for continuing to encourage me and other riders like me to set their sights on the top level.
Please support our athletes and teams with a tax-deductible gift today. Visit our website to make a gift online. Your gift will fund training and racing development programs for our nation's best young cycling athletes. Please make a contribution today.
Welcome back. We're getting ready for the Women's Armed Forces Cycling Classic, Clarendon Cup. Women's categories are going to be Category 1-2 racing together and the Category 3-4 racing together. They're going to be racing on the Clarendon Cup crit course in Arlington, Virginia. It's a 6-turn crit course with a bit of elevation in it. Super technical, usually resulting in diminished fields or breakaways. Phenomenal race. Part of the Armed Forces Cycling Classic race weekend. There's a community charity ride / Grand Fondo on the Sunday morning, as well as the Crystal City Cup. Phenomenal race weekend, 100-kilometer race, 50K race for the women. Highly recommend it. Right outside Washington, D.C. Super convenient. Great prize purse, great courses, great venue, great race promotion. Legends have raced this race. And maybe we'll see some of those legends racing today. We're about 3.5 minutes from the start of the women's races. These are the previews, the community races prior to the professional race weekend next weekend, Bucks County Classic and the Armed Forces Cycling Classic Clarendon Cup. This is the third weekend of Echelon Racing League out of 8. The first weekend, RGT Cycling. RGT Railroads stage race. The second weekend was the Tour of the Gila. Third weekend, the Bucks County Classic, Armed Forces Cycling Classic. The day after Christmas here in the United States, the Gateway Cup based out of St. Louis, the 26th and 27th. And then the first part of 2021, we'll see the Redlands Bicycle Classic, Joe Martin Stage Race, Green Mountain Stage Race, and Tour of America's Dairyland. The top 10 in each of the Category 1-2 fields in the men's and women's races qualify for an invite into the professional races. We've seen a couple of our community riders able to get in and really make a splash in the professional races. Mike Lister, John Melville, and Seb Wolf able to score some points in the series there for the professional races. The goal of that being that with e-racing being a new venue, new discipline, if you will, this gives the ability for some of the community riders who might not have real life racing experience or just not had a venue to be noticed by the elite teams or the professional teams, able to get some eyes on them and get some recruitment there for new riders. So looking like we've got 2 riders lined up in the Cat 3-4, 3 riders lined up in the Cat 1-2. These racers looking to in the Cat 1-2 race, looking to get some experience on the crit course prior to next weekend's race. Again, this race series is free. The RGT platform with basic membership is free also. If you are ever curious about trying out e-cycling or e-racing, all you need is a bicycle and a power source and a computer. You can connect via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. Bluetooth or ANT+. And our riders are off. Christy Tracy putting a big dig in the race from the gun. Sun putting in a big dig in the Category 3-4 race. Robinson trying to catch her. 3 riders are all together in the Cat 1-2 race. These riders will be going for 40 laps. Course is 1.1 kilometers, so it rounds out to about 43 kilometers total. We saw Amy Young from the Cat 1-2 race take the win yesterday. We'll see how today plays out. Holly Larson from M&M's. They were a wildcard team in last weekend's Tour of the Gila race, professional race series. Christy Tracy, not sure if you don't know her, you should. She was on the U.S. National Esports Cycling Team. Just took place in the first ever Esports World Championships. Supporting that team to getting a top 5 in the first ever World Championships for e-racing. She said this race means a lot to her. Her husband is a Coast Guard veteran, and Armed Forces Cycling Classic is a armed services benefiting race event. It'll be interesting to see how these three, if they race together or if they start attacking and get away solo. Yesterday we had 3 riders. They did race together up until the final kilometer, and then they put some attacks in it. It came down to a sprint. Christy Tracy is known for the longer, steadier efforts. She, in the community tour of the Gila, she soloed the 72-kilometer Gila Mountain Stage Race. So I think it would be her desire to get away early and settle into her time trial position and just motor. Not sure if Amy Young and Holly Larson are going to allow that, though. Robinson and Son riding together right now. Seems like they're working together okay. Looks like Sun put a pretty big effort into Robinson there. Nice little gap. Early in the race though, 40K to go. We'll see if she can hold it. Looks like Robinson might have had an E-mechanical, had to abandon the race. Sund is now in for a long solo effort, 39.4K to go. In the Cat 1-2 race, Larson, Young, and Tracy are still together. The key to RGT cycling, if you've ever raced or ridden on other online platforms or in real life, is really figuring out the nuances and learning how to efficiently ride the courses. The more technical, the harder it is, particularly with the collision detection and avatar braking. These three in the Cat 1-2 race are really working well together. Nice rotations on the front. If you look in the top left, that power number, when it turns red, that means your avatar is hitting the brakes within the game. That means your power is not going anywhere. You're just wasting it. That means you're either riding into the back of a rider or you're going too fast into a turn and your rider has to slow down to make that turn. We'll see it right here, as you can see. Just below that power number, looking at Christy Tracy's screen here, you see the drafting ability there. It gives you distance to the rider in front of you, the power you are saving while behind that rider. That power number on the left-hand side is power needed to stay in the draft, and the power number on the right-hand side is the power you need to overcome to go around that rider. We're now almost 6K into this race, and Sund is only about a half a lap behind the Cat 1-2 race. Really steady effort to really knock down the miles and the laps here. So we're about 8.5 laps, almost 9 laps into this race in the Cat 1-2. 3 riders still working really well together. And the Cat 3-4, Sund is still working on that solo effort. She's almost a kilometer behind the Cat 1-2, but it's an impressive ride for that solo rider. You can see as these riders in the Cat 1-2 race get a little bit more familiar with the course and the dynamics through the turns, they seem to be taking a few more chances here or there, seeing what they can get away with. It's kind of the same in a real life crit. You see what's the max speed you can go into with that course, what's the max effort you have to put into to get through that turn as fast as possible to carry your speed through. The nice part about e-racing versus real life racing is you're not gonna clip a pedal or lose your footing through the turn and end up with some road rash. Worst case here is your avatar slams on the brakes and you go to the outside of the turn. Or you just burn some energy carelessly. Larson putting in some pretty big digs across the halfway point there. Numbers getting into the red. We're about 25% through the race now. Christy Tracy now putting in a monster effort. Amy Young and Larson trying to chase and get back on. 10-meter gap. Amy Young really digging. Larson right on her wheel. They do catch her. We're gonna have a little bit of a reshuffle now. Looks like they were just trying to stretch their legs there. A little bit of a reorganization in the Cat 1-2 race. Sun's still motoring here. Solo effort. She's about 25% through the race now. 30.8K to go. Christy Tracy with another big effort here. She might be gone 30 meters back to the other two riders. She's no stranger to the solo breakaway. You can see her on the webcam up there with the U.S. Coast Guard flag in the background. She gets into her TT position, just settles in. Amy Young putting in a monster move, trying to bridge up to her though. We'll see if she can get it. Still, gap's still going out though, 30 meters now. Gap's now at 56 meters. Christy Tracy not trying to wait. I do believe she might be gone. That gap is steadily opening. Looks like Larson and Young are looking at each other, trying to figure out who's going to take up the chase. Neither of them wanting to do it. Meanwhile, Christy Tracy's steady at 4.5 to 5 watts per kilogram, just continuing to motor away. At this point, she might be trying to figure out if she can settle in with enough power to lap them. That gap is just skyrocketing open for Christy Tracy, now at 140 meters. Gap's really doubled in size in just over a lap. Looks like the gap's settled in a little bit, around 160 meters. I take that back. That gap is now 230 meters. Christy Tracy is really putting in a monster effort here. Larson and Young seem to be content with racing for second place now. I do think Christy Tracy's trying to make it an effort to lap this field. Meanwhile, in the Cat 3-4 race, Sund is still just motoring on, doing a great effort here for this solo move. That gap now to 275 meters. Gap now to 350 meters. Christy Tracy is just motoring right now. At this pace, she'll be at a half lap gap here in another lap. And it does look like Chris Tracy's going to be about a half lap behind him at the halfway point. Maybe a little sooner. Or half lap ahead of him, excuse me. And, yep, about half a lap now. Sun's still doing a nice little motor effort here. Almost 18K into this race. Great bit of effort by this rider. Christy Tracy now almost at 700 meters. She's really found the flow of this course, I think. Christy Tracy's still on a mission here, right as we hit the halfway point of the race. Christy Tracy only about 300 meters behind the riders now. Christy Tracy with a big dig trying to catch. Thinking we'll see the catch on this lap. There she is, coming out of the last turn there, just behind him as they pass the halfway point on the lap. You can see Christy Tracy up in her webcam there, pretty pleased with making the catch here right now. Let's see if she just sits on the back or if she's going to try to go right through him and see what happens. You see Amy Young, Holly Larson picking up the pace a little bit. There she is. Chrissy's happy, shaking her head. Big smile on her face as she makes the catch. So our three riders are all back together with Christy Tracy 1 lap up on the other 2. In the Cat 3-4 race, Sun is just over the halfway point. Probably 19 laps to go now. It'll be interesting to see how the Cat 1-2 race plays out now. If Christy's just going to sit in, or if she's actually going to try and get away again. It's a monster effort to lap a field like that, especially in a longer race like this criteria. 15K to go approximately. These 3 riders in the Cat 1-2 race have settled in. Sund with about 19K to go. Continuing with her effort. Christy Tracy looks like she might be off on another effort again. Little bit of a gap between the other 2 riders. Looks like they're not interested in chasing too hard either. That gap is steadily opening. We'll see if Christy Tracy can't get a second lap up on these riders with 13.8K to go. Tracy now out of sight of the other 2 riders, Young and Larson again. Sun with 16.3K to go, still motoring, doing a phenomenal effort here for this solo ride in this 43-kilometer criterium. Christy Tracy still continuing the motorway. It does look like Larson and Young are not sitting up like they were in the first time. Average speed for Christy Tracy is 34.4 kilometers per hour. That's 21.2 miles per hour for those in the United States. Sund with a phenomenal over here, just over 14K remaining. Christy Tracy's gap continues to open as they have 8.4K to go. Just over 8 laps.
Well, gentlemen, perhaps we wouldn't be where we are today if we hadn't said to ourselves, just go, 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 go for it. Gentlemen, go for it. Gentlemen, go for it.
Christy Tracy's still crushing it. 7K to go now. Sun on her solo effort with 12K to go.
Perhaps we wouldn't be where we are today if we hadn't said to ourselves, go for it.
$6K to go. Christy Tracy is getting close to getting that second lap up. Less than 500 meters to get to that group. Just at 5K to go now. Christy Tracy still closing down that gap to get that second lap up. 10.5K to go for Sun. It's going to be a big effort by Tracy to catch him, but 4K to go, she might be able to do it. She's essentially got to close 100 meters per lap. Christy Tracy's still putting in a big effort. 3.5K to go now. 3.3K to go now. Three laps to go for Christy Tracy. Two and a half laps to go for Christy Tracy. She is not holding back. Only 300 meters, I think, to catch the chase group of two to lap up again. 2 laps to go for Christy Tracy. Big effort trying to catch. Christy Tracy come up to the line for the bell lap. $800 meters to go for Christy Tracy now. We have to remember, even if she doesn't catch these riders, they're still going to have one more lap to do after her. Half a lap to go for Christy Tracy. And here comes Christy Tracy up to the finish line. Phenomenal ride by this top-notch rider. Phenomenal ride by Christy Tracy. Now back to Larson and Young. They've got 1.7K to go, lap and a half. Amy Young putting in a good effort here for Project Echelon. Larson for the M&Ms is going to follow. We've got Larson and Young with 1.3K to go. They're coming up for the bell lap now. Sund for the Cat 3-4 race, has 5.8K to go. Phenomenal effort by this rider. Phenomenal effort by Larson and Young as well. We're going to see a phenomenal sprint for second place here in a lap. Young and Larson, less than a K to go now. 800 meters. Half a lap to go now. Here they are approaching the final turn. 300 meters out of this turn to the finish. Larson with a little bit of an effort there. Young with a little bit of an effort. Looks like they're a little back and forth here. I think it's just going to be a drag race to the line from these two riders. Larson holding that draft, gets up next to Young. And it's just a drag to the finish. Young in the front right now. Larson just behind her. And Young takes it for Project Echelon, with Larson for the M&Ms rounding out the podium for third. Great job to these ladies. Great race by everyone. Sonda has 4 laps to go now. Another great effort. This is a hard technical course and a long race to be solo the whole time. Great effort by this rider. Sonda approaching the line for 3 to go now. Here's the results for the Cat 1-2 race. Christy Tracy taking the win by a lap. Amy Young in second for Project Echelon, and Holly Larson in third for the M&Ms. Christy Tracy racing with the Team Infinite team. You'll see all three of these women racing next weekend in the pro race. Sun with 2.5 laps to go now. $2K to go for Sun now. Sun looking to finish up this last lap and a half strong. Great ride today. $1K to go, 1 lap to go for Sun here. Finishing up in a phenomenal effort. Half a lap to go in this monster effort. $200 meters to go for Sund. Great race by Sund. Great race by all of our riders today. Congrats to all of our podium placements. And congratulations to those who qualified for the invite to the professional races next weekend. Be sure to tune in next week for the professional Bucks County Crit Armed Forces Cycling Classic right here on the YouTube or the Echelon Racing League Facebook channel. If you're interested, don't forget December 26th, 27th, our next community races, the Gateway Cup criteriums. You can find out more info on the Echelon Racing League Facebook or at echelonracingleague.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next time.